Hello and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program with me, Jack Blade, and today it's episode 4, and in the last episode we had just finished supersizing our blue science production. And if I want to first say thank you to everyone who's watched and liked and everything that you do to help and support. And I also want to remind people that might have forgotten, like if you like my content, please subscribe, and if you want to, join the Discord. And every little bit helps. And if you don't like, in the end, you can just unsubscribe, right? So, going from there, what is the video going to be about today? We want to make a lot of strides in terms of automation. And specifically, we want to start working on a main bus, small hub, whatever you want to call it, that produces all of the buildings and stuff for us. Because if we were to rush now, like we could go straight into like, okay, let's produce red science and everything. The problem is, if you look at what the building, like, to build specific things need, like, if you look at this, it needs electric motor. We are not producing electric motors, right? And this replicating queue is extremely limited because it only produces one thing at a time. So we want to kind of make sure that we have all of this being produced by itself, and especially the things that takes a bit longer to craft. So what we will be doing today is looking at setting up main bus and how we will be doing that. And the number one step is to get a clear, I'm gonna fly over here, is to get a clear view of what you need in terms of materials. And number one material what we do need, and this is gonna be true for this planet in general, is this. It's our foundations, right? So as you can see, we have 2,000 foundations. I will actually increase this because we will need thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these. So I'm just gonna grab what we have so far and let's show you how this works. Over here, like you can see, we can place this anywhere pretty much, but I'm gonna start with the important part. We can't build over here. Foundation required. So I can go in here and I can click on foundation, boom, and you can see I can have place a 3x3 area. If I control and which was it? Yeah, if I click the numpad or like the plus, I can increase that area to a 10x10, which means that it, like a single placement here, will cost 100 foundations. Something to also keep in mind is that you can see these lines. So remember we talked about that last time. I'm gonna bring up a blueprint so we can see those lines pretty clearly. Let's grab this. You can see this yellow line. This is a cross between different buildable areas, like build grids. And on each planet, you will have all of these lines. They're pretty similar, or they're identical pretty much. And you can only build one like thing within, like if you place it on the line, it's not going to work. So the only way you can build them is find out the area that fits what you're trying to make. If you're trying to make a massive thing, you need to place it here in the middle where you have the equator, because that's the single largest area that you can build on, right? So here's my idea. Oh, Dark Frogs swarm incoming. Okay, let's see. Where are you coming from? Let's see, where are you rushing? You're rushing here, meaning that you're gonna run into these. I was kind of expecting that. You're not going any other direction. No. Yeah. So the flying enemies are coming in first. Let's fly over there and take a look at how it's going. So the enemy will start upgrading their weaponry. They will have new types of enemies. You can see they've already hurt our turrets a little bit because they're very aggressive when they come in. Yeah, and the flying enemies have already been taken out before I got here because they are super fast and there's no way that I can like launch a effective defense by trying to be there fast enough. So the only chance I do have is like place turrets. So that's a important note. I'm just gonna delete you guys. And what is it that needs repair? Something needs repair. A turret needs repair. Where are you? And I'm just trying to find the turret that does need repair. It's probably over here. And the problem with this is like, yeah, okay, here. The problem with early game is that you have to manually fly over. Like your bots will take care of it and they will repair it. You can see here it comes in, boom, now it's done. But later on we will have buildings that can do the repair for us, and that's really, really good because it means that we can kind of automate the maintenance of our defense grid. Yeah, okay, before that, where was I? I was talking about the foundations, yes, and the planetary grid. That's correct. I was talking about the planetary grid. And when we build, we kind of want to think like, okay, am I building something massive? I might need to be in the middle of the world. I might need let's see if I can open the blueprint again. I'm just gonna go like this. If I need like a massive area, then I can definitely use the middle. If I'm going to use something that is like doesn't take that much space, can use this section, and then like you can go down and down and down and down and down until you have the equator that is like literally just a few squares out. And we'll be using this. Like, I will show you exactly how all of this is going to be used later on. But for now, we will be using the middle. We'll be using the equator as our guiding light. And the equator being in the middle, let's see, should be over here. I'm not going to place this blueprint, but I want to have a lot of open space so that I don't have these getting in the way for what I want to do. So let's quit this mode and go over here. I want to double check that I do this correctly so that I have, like I said, as much space as possible to develop my bus without having to spend all the time. Yeah, you can see here. Here's the equator, like it's a thicker blue line, right? And there's still no, like it doesn't cancel out. So we're gonna use our foundations here. And I'm just going to go like this. I'm just holding down and just dragging, and I'm just placing some of them down. And the reason why I am doing this is because I enjoy the look. I want the terraformed, like, brutalist look of my base or my bus. So let's just see what I can do here. Do I need more space? I probably need more space because when we are, yeah, new achievement, and when we are building this, not only do we need a lot of space, we also need to make sure that we have all the materials that we're actually looking at. And I will bring up a list very clearly so that you can see exactly what we will be bringing in on this bus. And we'll be bringing in specifically materials. Iron ingots, gears, stone bricks, glass, high purity silicon, magnetic coils, circuit boards, electric motors, steel, microcrystalline components, engines, copper ingots, and plasma exciters. And we will be building literally everything we have unlocked so far will be made using those components. And that means that every single part of this will be built, automated, when we have set this up properly. And that means that we need to have space for, let's see, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's 13 different items we need to have space for. And how do we want space for them? Let me show you. Let's go in here. We're grabbing some splitters. We're using tab, and we're switching to that different like setup where we have the input output on top of each other. And I want to go, let's say, like so. Let's just place one there. That's one. And I'm gonna go with the second one over here, 2. I guess 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So I needed a little bit more. Okay, so let's double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13. Okay, I'm just gonna run the foundation. Just add a little bit in. It doesn't, like, I don't waste. It's only the one that are like bright white that actually gets used. So let's do that. And then on this end, on this side, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some more extra space here. Like this. And what I want to do now is, because this is supposed to be a bus, right? So what I want to do now is make sure that it is set up to be that bus. So I'm going to I need space between them first of all. So how much space do I want? I want this to be on a line, and I want the next one to, let's see, I want 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then I have the next part here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when I place this, that's gonna block that. So I need to place it like this, right? And then I can go and lift them up because I want them one floor up. When I use the arrow keys, press up once to lift them. If I press down, I pick the one down. So I go like this. Perfect. Right? Easy peasy. And what I'm also going to do, because this is going to double up, is I will remove the splitter here. There. Perfect. This means that now I can... Let's see, it deleted some of them. I don't want that. I want that to actually be there. There we go. Because when I then... let's just take this one, right? I can go in here, create blueprint, right? And I can mark this, right? So, no problem. And I can save this as a blueprint, but I'm just gonna use now, and I'm going to like shift enter. I'm literally just doing this to make sure that I have them at the right height, and I can just connect them up and fix everything. No problem. And this is just for me to be able to mark every single part that I want to bring in on the belt, so that I have a in-game, in-world list that is like, makes it easy for me. So I've also made the, how do I put this? I've also made the order in which I build or bring them in here. I have kind of ordered them to make it easier for myself. Okay, let's do this and make sure that we have the belts also coming in, because then I can use this. Perfect. Yep, this is exactly what I want. So as you can see, they go out over one, so I'm going to do the same thing over here, right? Or I go out No, not even that. I need to split that in half. And I will explain this. I will explain why in a second. Let's see. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go like this. Make sure that I have the extra space. And I will then, I will say, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. So from here, I will delete the line so that I can easily copy and paste everything to extend the bus. And I will show you exactly why. Like, this idea and the way that this is built comes from Nilaus. Great YouTuber, has really good ways of dealing with this kind of stuff. Like, I've watched him deal with stuff in this game, and I watched him like play Desync. I watched him play like pretty much every single game. He has really good ideas about how to deal with this like main bus, main production line thing, and he makes it very simple to play these complex games, and that's why I am very happy with using and spreading his ideas, because it makes it easier, especially for new players that are just trying to like get in and get comfortable with the game. This becomes very like completely the right thing to do. If you go in and go like, okay, you need to exactly perfectly ratio XYZ to get exactly use the everything in the most advanced possible way from the get-go, I don't think that's beginner friendly, and I think you kind of take the fun out of discovering some of that for yourself and discovering what you like for yourself. Okay, so now that we have this, I will mark up the parts that we're bringing in. We're bringing in the iron ingots. We are bringing in the, let's see, we're bringing gear. We're bringing in stone brick. We are bringing in glass. We are bringing in high purity silicon. We are gonna bring in magnetic coils. And we will be bringing in circuit boards. Then we'll bring in electric motor. Where are you there? Electric motor. We will be bringing in steel. Where have you been hidden? There we go. Steel, microcrystalline components. Where do we have you? Am I blind? Yes, I am completely blind. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Microcrystalline components. And then we have engines. They are over here. We need copper ingots. And then we need plasma exciters. Boom. Let's see. Prism, I think we get later, yeah. I don't think we need prism for any building we are making right now. Let me double check. And like, because I know we can make the prism, but I think the prism is a subcomponent of making these, yeah. There is no building that uses this right now. No, there isn't. And not that I can find. Yeah, exactly. This is it. That's all of it. Yeah. So, here's number one. We will then be looking at extending this line, right? So what I will do is I will grab this tool again here, and this time I'll be saving this blueprint because this is like a blueprint that I'll be using for the entire series, pretty much, and then just build on. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go. Let's see. What can I get? What can I get? Let's just grab a few different icons here that I can put in, and I can put in, let's say that this is a belt because I'm using the Mark 1 belt. Let's go for the splitter, and then let's go for a symbol that symbolizes like making buildings. So let's go for that. And then I'm gonna call this, let's say, beginner series, and it's not Bethesda Game Studios, it's beginner series. Beginner series, starter hub, and then because I want to label this as well, I'm gonna just put hub frame. That means I see that it's the hub frame, and I'm gonna save this, right? So now I have it here as a new blueprint, and I can always go in, like, even if I don't mark it anymore, let's go quit. Like, I'm not in there, I have no markings, I can go in and I can pick the hub frame, and I have it here. And then I can just go, okay, I want to extend this, and I need to make sure that I have foundations placed so that I can place it, right? So I will just go, hey, give me some foundations. I'm gonna place a line here and make space for it. And here we go, hub frame. So there we go. Nothing weird. So how does this hub work? Like, first of all, we need to bring in all the materials, right? That's the relatively easy part. But it's still not the easiest part. The easiest part will actually be having all of this. And then just telling everything to make this new building for me. So the reason why I have placed foundations on this side, and I will show you that, is if you look at what buildings we are making, okay, let's say that I want to make this. I want to make the belts. I want to make the belts, and I want to make the sorters. Then I can grab, I need an assembler for that, so let's go just into inventory, let's grab the assembler, and then here, in the midpoint, just next to the midpoint, I'm not actually on the midpoint, I will place one assembler, and then same thing on the other side, like this, right? And this, I want to make the belts. Right, and it needs iron and it needs gear. So what I then can do is grab a belt here, right? And I can pull that out, and I can set that to, hey, you should go here so you can get pulled straight into this. And I need gears, so I will tell them to, hey, then take your gears and put them here. And suddenly I can make the belts. And over here I wanted the sorters, so I'm gonna just grab the sorters, and it needs iron and it needs circuit boards. So then let's go for the iron, like this, and the circuit boards are up here, right? So I'm just gonna go up here, I'm gonna grab the circuit boards. Oh, I need more belts. I'm gonna need to head back and actually grab belts from the factory. Let's see. Where have I hidden the factory? Over here. There we go. Here's belts. Thank you. Now I have belts. And once... There we go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Do I have energy? I have energy. Perfect. And then I can just power this up. There we go. And I can make it very easy for myself and just go, hey, here's the thing. I don't want to interfere with this. Like, if I place that here, it would interfere with the next line, right? So I'm also gonna go down, down. Let's extend the foundations here. Ah, damn it! I made one extra line that I didn't want to make. Okay, trying to be like here we go. Can I just frame this so that it turns out the way I want it to, and then just fill it in? Yeah, here we go. Thank you. There. And here, quite easily, I can just grab sorters that now pulls everything in that I need to these. Alright, so let's first finish what I was starting over here. It's this, right? So no interference, I don't have to cross everything over. It just, yeah, like Todd Howard would say, it just works. So now I can make both of these like parts very easily, and if I need to increase the production, I could literally just like double this up. I can take this and place here as well and just make even more out of it, right? So now I don't necessarily need to do that if I am smart about it. So let's just do this. And let's say that I want one line of those and I want one line of those. I can set that here very easily. There we go. And I can also set item filters, so I can go like set the uniform filter, and I only want these to be in here. I don't care about the rest. Let's see, I don't even want that in here. Uniform filter, give me that. Here, uniform filter, give me that. Meaning that now I can't even accidentally get the wrong item in here. Perfect. And then I can just take this and copy up and continue down and continue as far as I want this direction, as far as I want this direction. So the way that I wanted to work with this, right, is if I go into the blueprints here, let's grab another one of these. I still have enough. So let's copy this up and get this in here, right? And make another line of this. Because I want to make sure that I'm using all of my space as efficiently as possible. And then I want to make sure that I actually have all of the materials that I do need. So this is just me showing like, okay, this is how the bus hub, mall, whatever you want to call it, how it works. And how I make it very easy for myself to include new buildings as I unlock them. Because I can, on the bottom here, down here, I can just add the buildings. And on this side, I will actually like use this to make stuff, so this will go away after a while. Same thing with the stone over here. And then up here, I can just literally add like, hey, we've unlocked a new component. Let's say that one of the buildings we are building, they actually do need graphene in the end. Okay, then let's make graphene. I'm just placing graphene coming in on a new line up here, right? I can just copy this and just put it up here and change the symbols to being these instead. Okay, and let's just go. I want to have these in, so I'm going to add these in. Specifically, I want them in so that I do have a very easy overview of what material. I actually might not need them for every line. Let's do this. So that I can easily see which belt carries what items, so I can easily just go and drag out the conveyors where I need them. But yeah, like this is the basic idea and for a very simplified hub. You can also then hook that up later, and this is something that Nilaus actually shows as well. You can hook this up using the transportation. Like ILS is an interstellar logistics station, and then you have the PLS, the planetary logistics station. So if you have those, you can actually make sure to move this between planets as well. So you set up the production of all your stuff here, and you have like massive stations with ships, logistics ships attached to them that will send them. So you can just place down a similar like a fetching hub on a new planet, and it will just send whatever you're producing here to that new planet, without you having to set up this over and over and over again. So this will basically just keep existing and keep growing and expanding until we have every single building in the game pretty much produced here. And I will bring in the materials using PLS and ILS stations. We will get to those later. They're over here. Planetary logistics system that lets me send stuff in on the planet, and then you have the interstellar logistics system that lets me send like everything from different planets to a single planet, or like deal with that stuff. So yeah, like there's a bunch of stuff you can do with this, right? So number one, we need to make sure that we are producing and bringing in every single one of these materials before we continue here, because I actually want to set up as much of this as possible today, because next episode, or the next episode after that, depending on how long this takes, because I want to actually finish this, we need to make sure that we get into red and ultimately yellow science. Because that's where the game really opens up. So we're still in the early game, just prepping, and this is like the big prep thing that helps you all the way up until like end game and like finishing the game. This is the big thing that you want to have. Like this is the core of your entire experience, and if you mess this part up, you will have a very hard time organizing yourself later down the line, especially once you start looking at like flying between solar systems and having like stuff on different planets and everything. So this is a very nice and easy way for you to deal with all of your needs for buildings, conveyor belts, and ultimately you can also have like your prototype fighters and fleet production, ammunition production, like all of that you can just bring into the same kind of logistics core of your industry. So for now, I will just leave you here, and I'll get back to you when I have actually made set up the production of all of these and bring them in, so I can show you exactly what it looks like. Okay, thank you, and see you later. All right. Second attempt at this recording. I forgot to turn my microphone on, so you're just watching me run around and making absolutely no sounds whatsoever. And I was kind of like attempting to like do a mime show with my mecha here. But yeah, okay, we have been building this monstrosity. This mega nice bus line that is inspired by Nilaus' method for building one, and I have no idea how close I am. Like I watched the video once and was inspired, and since then I've been using this method. But I will be linking his video down in the description. He's better at describing it, and his also looks prettier than mine does. So you can probably learn something from him as well. But yeah, basically we've been building this very, very nice bus that from the left to the right is transporting the materials, 13 different parts. Okay, this one's empty now actually. Okay. That is then being pulled out from each section of splitters into assemblers to make every single building, conveyor belt, sorter, everything that we currently have unlocked. And the places where it differs, and when I've done something like something special, is stuff like this, where some buildings have other buildings as a recipe. And then I place in a sorter that pulls from. I place first of all the recipes next to each other, and I make one sorter pull from the one assembler into the other, so that it can immediately build it without me having to draw long, convoluted like conveyor lines. And I've done the same thing over here with the sorter Mark II, so we're making that one now. So we don't need to be using these anymore. I can place these in here, and I can pull out so I have a couple of stacks of conveyor sort of Mark II, because they're twice as fast. This takes 3 trips per second per grid, and this one takes 1.5. So yeah, they're a marked improvement to making sure that you can transport items quickly. So, and then I've basically been setting all of this up and been spreading my foundations to make sure that I can like make an easy, nice looking thing. Some of this stuff has gotten like its own dedicated factory, like the iron ingots, gears, stone bricks, glass, plasma exciters, microcrystalline components, engines, more like copper ingots. We are using this section because we don't have the actual ore to mine yet. So we'd have this because we can't fly to other planets yet, where this is actually an ore you can mine. So I'm using stone, a very ineffective recipe. Take stone, and I pull that into this factory and turn that into silicon ore, which I then pull out and move in and make high purity silicon, which is used for some of the buildings. I'm pulling the magnetic coils and the circuit boards over from where we're making all the science down here. For now, I'm using conveyors. You can see like it's a big belt. A lot of the resources going to be dedicated to just being on the belt, which I'm not really a fan of, but we'll fix that later. Don't really have the tech to solve those kinds of problems yet. And generally just been fixing stuff. You can see here as well the steel that we were producing before. I have now diverged from making foundations out of that and turned it over here, so it actually goes up here now. And same thing, like I've generally just been pulling and making resources. Same thing, making electric engines or electric motors, and making sure that we have the all the 13 different resources being pulled in. I'm making the glass out of some stone and then turning it to prism. Then I'm moving that all the way up here to make the plasma exciters, and then moving the plasma exciters up here. So that's basically how I've been doing 13 different resources to make sure that we can make every single building. And you can make this however. I've made this as a temporary thing. Once the resources are out and once we start moving to different planets and stuff and setting up different factories, we're still gonna have massive logistics towers, like interstellar logistics towers, that pulls in all of the resources, because this is an end game construct. This is never going away. This is gonna stay here. Once the coal is out, we will also have room to be able to expand this in this direction. Like we can put more lines with more different resources until we have all of them to make every single building in the game, which we will then just continue placing down in this direction. So up for more different kind of resources. We're transporting the resources from left to the right, and we are on the bottom of it, so to speak, setting the assemblers where we just pull in the lines, and I've been able to fix some of it. I should have probably made it with one space extra, and you can do that if you feel the need to, feel like that helps. And also, I have been farming the dark fog. That is something to keep in, so to have fun with as well. Let's see, do I have power on me? I do. Let's just place some of this in. Sort here. And let's fly up here. As you can see, I have these very nice turrets over here that defend the base. Because they're so close to the dark fog, it will be a primary target for the dark fog to fly over here, because, like, shortest distance. So once this hits 10 or 100%, we will see how they fly over. I might need to block some if they miss. This is definitely not enough to defend against a full swarm, as they will be coming later. But yeah, one of the reasons why I've been doing this is because the dark fog, let's see here, Yeah, you can see it's trying to bypass it, but can't really. I'm just stopping some of this stuff. Yeah. You get soil from destroying the dark fog. And destroying the dark fog, let's go up here. Like if I need soil, or rather, what am I using? Oh, I got killed. I got killed so hard. And I will literally just reassemble myself because I can. Thank you. And I live. And if I can't reassemble myself, if I don't have enough metadata, I'm dead. And game over. So that's something to keep in mind. I just wasn't careful enough. So when you have the when you're placing down foundations, you need, like if you see the soil pile, it says 61.9k. Click once, and now suddenly it was minus 23k, right? And that's not really like it runs out very quickly. So how do we get more soil? Yeah, just lure a bunch of dark fog into this death trap, kill them, and you get a few thousand every time you do it. Let's see if I can do it and be more careful this time, and see what I can do. There we go. Now they're pissed. There we go. There, and you can see how the soil is going up. There, exactly. And this battlefield analysis base is one of the buildings we have been able to build for a while now. This one. It basically has construction drones in it, which will collect everything that they drop. Like that the dark fog drops, their on death drops. It will also repair any turrets or building within its radius. Or if I place a building down, they will send out drones like a blueprint, for example. They will send this out to help with building it. So they're really useful. You don't need a lot of them, but they're really, really useful, like for when you're setting up blueprints and stuff like that. You can also set in like fighters and stuff to help with defense. We're not really gonna need that, not for this low of a difficulty. And what does this all, like I want to show you guys, what does this all lead to? Like in the end, all of this prep work, setting up this bus, why is this so important? That's because, in the end, this becomes really messy. Like your game becomes really messy. This is still small enough. Like this is the first like really big project that I've made. Like it took me probably 6 hours, 7 hours to put all of this together. But if we look, I'm gonna switch over to a more advanced save, and we're gonna look at what the scale can get to. Alright, we are back. We are now in a save where I have progressed pretty much up to the end game. And I want to show you, this is the home planet. Okay? This is messy. Like, I made mistakes here that I won't be able to fix, ever. Right? This is my first attempt at the bus, which didn't go so well. Right? And I've had to pay for that, to the point where I felt like if I try to continue the save, I have to do reworks that will...
destroyed.
Okay. Like, that are prohibitively expensive. So, I have just chosen to not. So, those mistakes are like the cost of things. And these towers is what we're talking about before, the interstellar logistics stations. Is what we will be using in our save, the beginner series save, to bring in resources here on this end to make sure that we always feed the bus. Like I started here, I was like, okay, now I need to rebuild this, I need to make a new one that functions better and everything. And then I started looking at the amount of work and the number of things that I need to remake, and factories, like small factories that doesn't work the way that I want them to and stuff. And it was just like, nope, you know what? I'm gonna have to start a new save. I've learned what I can from here. I know what I need to do now to make sure that this doesn't happen again. And I decided to start that new save as that series, so you are along for the journey on that next save. So that is hopefully something that you also can learn from, so you can avoid these mistakes in the first place. You might like making them, like some people like that. I very much recommend not watching beginner's guides or tutorials if that's the case. I would say like attempt to get as far as you can yourself first, a couple of saves, and then if you feel stuck, then come back here and watch my stuff. Okay, so let's see you back in the beginner's guide. Alright, we're back in the beginner's guide save now, and what is our plan? What are we going to do? What's the next big thing now that we have all of this done? Well, we will be looking at automating this. The red science will probably sprint through, and because it's pretty much exactly the same thing, like we're just looking at new resources. It needs, let's see, what was it needed? It needs hydrogen, and it needs energetic graphite. So hydrogen we get from using these oil nodes. So we will literally set up oil like factory, like fracking factory. We will take some of this coal, probably this coal, and set up a massive energetic graphite production facility. And then we will make the red science and bring all of that in. We will also need to make some missiles, because we're also going to set up a missile barrage wall around the dark fog, so that if they try to expand too far or go out in any specific direction, they get stopped by the missiles. Let's see, where are they? Over here. Oh, that was not what I was supposed to make. So there. So you can see, we will literally just take these. I have some in my inventory already. I've picked up a bunch of stuff and organized it the way that I want to have it organized. And basically make sure that I can show you how to make the red science, and then do a lot of it, because we need to unlock so many things in here. Titanium smelting is super important. We can't get very far without unlocking that. Let's pause there so I don't miss anything. We need to set up this, because this is used. I think these are used to make yellow science, if I can remember correctly. Yeah, I think these and one other thing that we need to make. Where is that? Yeah, okay, let's find the yellow science, because that explains. Yeah, there we go. Here's the yellow science. So we need to get titanium. We need to be able to make these organic crystals as well. There's a bunch of stuff. Jammer tower, rapidly changing. These are new. I haven't used these before. They're maybe not new, like brand new over the last week, but I haven't used them. Same thing. A bunch of the stuff that I haven't played around with too much yet. But yeah, we'll go through all of that. The big thing next episode will be building that red science up, so that we can unlock all the cool stuff. One of the major things is we want this. We want the drive engine, because this is how we get to space. And then we can go to really fast speeds, and then we start being able to go to different solar systems. And so that's really what we want to achieve. So we just want to achieve upgrades in general, but the primary one is to get to the drive engine. That is the important, and we need the red science to be able to do that. So that's what we'll be focusing on in the next episode, and when that happens, I will see you there.